we can't live without this guy, a mobile charger. But do you know what is present inside and how it works? Let us break it down. First of all, inside this mobile phone charger, here it is going to have a lot of components which is present inside. And we are going to decode it step by step and how it works on each and every process. So while talking about that journey, first the thing which we need to explore about is an input. While talking about an input, it is gonna get fetched from the power socket in India. In India, we will be getting morely around 220 to 240 voltage AC. AC is an alternating current, which is gonna enter where we are going to take this charger and where we are going to plug it in. So from that position, so this is the place where we will be getting around 220 volt AC. And whenever you talk about an alternating current, that can be represented in sinusoidal wave. So this is what the waveform which has been represented at with the frequency of 50 Hz. This is what the input supply we will be getting from the normal power socket. The next, after the power socket, the another very important component we're gonna have is called a diode. So in this picture, like for everything I have attached to the clear picture, and instead of just seeing it in here, in the mind map I've given a clear pictures with all the markings so that it is going to be so easy for you to understand. So the second important component we have is going to be a diode. Very simple. We all gonna explore every component in detail, like how it works, what is anode, what is cathode, everything in detail. But this is just a breakdown video where we are going to have a quick summary and quick breakthrough about how it works and its principle and all. I hope you all really got it. And later we will explore each and every component in detail with some experiments, with some applications and so on. So first of all, while talking about the diode, this is gonna act as like a one-way valve. What do you mean by a one-way valve? So imagine this is a valve. So the water or anything is flowing from the left to right direction. So it can't flow from right to left direction. So the certain anything which is gonna flow in only on the one direction, that is what the one-way valve is. Same as like whenever you talk about a diode, which is gonna pass the electricity in only one way. It is not gonna pass it as a reverse or something. So while talking about this diode, here it is gonna act as like to convert that into another form of conversion, where this diode which is gonna force an alternating current to flow in a single direction, which is gonna be helpful even to convert AC to DC. Even if you take a bridge rectifier, you might have explored in your college, but I'll cover you that as well. So even if you take a bridge rectifier, it is gonna have 4 diodes. So if you are really having a sinusoidal wave, which is the alternating current, that is needed to be converted into DC. For that, we will be using the diode at first. So first, initially we have got 230 voltage AC. That is going to be converted into same 230 voltage DC. That is what the second component diode will do. The third important component, which is going to be a primary filters. So filter is nothing but the capacitors. Here we have some orange color capacitors. So why these are all in this direction or in this side? All people just look out this camera. So this is how the structure of this, like charger. So here we have this 2 pin, which is going to be plugged in the mount like socket. And this is the place where this 2 pins, which is going to be. So in this side, we have these 3 capacitors, which is on the high voltage side, not in a low voltage side. So because this are the side where we are going to handle 230 voltages. So these 3 main orange color capacitors are kept inside the sides of high voltage side. So on talking about that high voltage side, which is helpful for filtering the signal, because when you are applying a diode, even in the process of converting AC to DC, it removed all the negative clips. That's okay, but that is not a DC, right? That is not a proper DC. It is going to be a pulsating DC. That's it. So we need to convert that into a next stage of have somewhat proper voltages. So they are rated for high voltages, very high voltages. So that capacitor, which is going to be helpful for converting, again, same AC to DC, but it will be little smoother than before. You can see here, there is curves are very sharper, but this filter, which is going to make it a little more smoother than before. That's what the primary filter capacitor will do. And after that, here we are going to have 8-pin microchip IC. So here, why this chip is required and what is it? Actually, the chip which is present inside, it is the brain of a charger. So which is a PWM, which is pulse width modulation controller. You might have heard about the PWM. which is like on off, on off, on off, on off kind of digital pulses like this. This is what the PWM is like, where you will be modifying the pulses width. That's what that PW modulation, like pulse width modulation, is all about. So here, Sanjay, why we need this IC here? Why we need this pulse width modulation here? Remember, here we are gonna use the transformer, guys, because up to now we are working with a very high voltages like 230 voltages, AC and all. So what we need to do is we need to step it down to the 5 voltages and all, because if we are giving 230 voltages to the mobile or something, it can't able to handle. So we need to step it down. So before we are stepping it down through the transformer, first we need to that transformer is having some requirement. So what is that requirement? It is that pulses need to be as like act as like a switches, like on off kind of stuff. So this PWM chip, which we have it right there, which is gonna convert high voltage power on and off thousands of times per second. Okay, it is 230 voltage, right? So that 230 voltages needed to be on off for thousands of times within a single second. So just think about how much faster that pulses will be like this. But still, it is still 230 voltages, 220 or 220 or 230 voltages, that same voltages, but it is needed to be converted into a pulse with the help of this pulse width modulation controller IC. That's the part number 4. And the 5th one, where we gonna have a very important component, is called the transformer. So what is that transformer is gonna be doing? Transformer is helpful for either stepping it down or stepping it up. Okay, like 230 voltage to 420 voltage, step up transformer. 230 voltage to 9 voltage, step down transformer. So here we have the flyback transformer, which is step down transformer, which is gonna be helpful for converting our 230 voltages kind of power supply into 5 voltages of power supply. That's what our transformer is gonna do. Okay, so and even in talking about the transformer, like there has been concept called the galvanic isolation, which is very simple, where the transformer, the 2 coil is not going to be physically connected. Okay, it is going to be splitted up. That's where it is not going to affect, even though some problem happened, it won't affect at the mobile phone side or something. So that is the place where that it is going to separate the high voltage side and low voltage side completely isolated. Okay, there is no any connection should be there between high voltages category and low voltages category. It should be completely separated. Okay, we have the magnetic field. That's what the transformer is all about. Don't worry, we are going to learn everything in deep. So that galvanic isolation is the place where it is separating the high voltages and low voltages. And after this isolation, this is how it is going to be. Because before we used to get 0 to 230, 220 voltages pulse, which has been transmitted from the microchip. But now, after the transformer, 230 is being stepped down into 5 voltages. So that's what the transformer is going to do, to step down the voltage from 230 voltage into 5 voltages. That's what the transformer is done. And the 6th important component is secondary filter capacitor, because when you saw this hardware, these sides are high voltage side where we had 3 capacitors. But at the same time, on the other hand, here we have a USB socket where you can able to plug in 2 mobile phone charger. I think you can able to see this. So this 2 mobile phone charger, here we have another 2 more capacitor called green color capacitor. So that green color capacitor, which is gonna act as like a secondary capacitor, secondary filter capacitor. So after the transformer, so it stepped down the voltage to 5 voltages. No, but definitely still it is gonna be pulsating. Pulsating means what? Some kind of some ramps or some noises will be there. So by putting up a secondary capacitors on the lower voltage side, that will be helpful for converting the pulsating 5 volt DC to purest form of DC. What do you mean by purest form of DC? How it can be represented? It can be represented as a straight line. That is what the secondary filter capacitor is going to do on the next side. And after that, there is going to have some Y capacitors or ceramic capacitor. While talking about Y capacitor or ceramic capacitor, you can see the hardware. These are the sides, some squeezed capacitor which is available, this blue color one and another blue color one. So what is this actually? Why already we had a capacitor, why this capacitor is required? Very simple. Whenever you talk about this kind of conversion, this kind of electronics, definitely there will be some lot of noises whenever we are doing this kind of faster switches like on off switches and so on. So definitely it is going to create a lot of like electromagnetic induction inferences that is known as EMI. So those electromagnetic inferences, that is all needed to be filtered out by using this kind of Y capacitors or ceramic capacitor. So these blue capacitors are designed to bridge the gap between high voltages and low voltage, because in the high voltage side also some EMI might be there, and in the low voltage side also there might be EMI, some noise will be there. So those noises all going to be filtered out by using this ceramic capacitors. And remember, you have charged your mobile phone with the charger. So what if some problem happen in that perspective, or your charger side or something? So it should not get affect your mobile's touch screen. It should not affect your mobile's display. Like that kind of issue might be there. So to remove that noises, so that's why here we'll be using this kind of ceramic capacitors. Remember, that's why always people recommend don't go for the cheapest chargers, because whenever you are going for the cheapest mobile phone chargers, for low cost 200 rupees or 100 or something, okay, they might compromise. Okay, instead of putting 5 capacitors, they might put 3 capacitors. So what if that EMI is striked out? It might affect your mobile phone. So that's why go with a quality charger for better voltage, overload handling and so on. So that's what the point number 7. And point number 8, here we're gonna have an LED as well, because LED is simple. Nowadays there is no any LED, but this charger, it has an LED, which is just going to indicate whether it is an on state, whether it is an off state. And the point number 9, dual USB type A ports, because in this charger, here you can able to charge 2 mobile phones at the same time. So here we have a dual USB type A ports which is being connected. So that how you will be getting out? So you will be getting a 5 voltages output. So you can charge 2 mobile phone at the same time. And these two, which is going to equally deliver 5 voltage and certain current rating. Okay, now in this session, I'm just going to add some few points. What are all the few points where some people will tell? The first doubt you may have. Some people will tell, Sanjay, why can't we put transformer at first to convert bigger voltage to lower voltage, and then we can do AC to DC conversion and all. But remember, that and all is going to make your charger to be bulkier. Your transformer need to be bulkier to handle such stuff. So that's why here we are putting a diode at first to convert AC to DC, pulsating DC at least. And then we will be putting a transformer to step it down to 230 voltage DC, 230 voltage AC to 230 voltage DC, and then 230 voltage DC to 5 volt DC. That's the first answer. And second important answer, what do you mean by this amps? Like, because whenever you are purchasing a charger, what they will be talking about, they will be telling you that is 5 voltages and 3.3 amps. Okay, even in this text, you can clearly see that it is being written as 5 voltage is 5 voltage and these things is being written, and then here it is gonna have some current, but here it is not written normally. That is how it is being written. Whenever you are really talking about any mobile phone charger, it is gonna be written as 5 voltage with 2 amps charger, 3 amps charger, 4 amps charger, not 4 amps, like 3 amps or something. So what it determines, remember, some people are having some misunderstanding that what if you are purchasing a charger with 5 voltage 3 amps, but your mobile requires only 2 amps. Don't think like your charger will push that 3 amps into the mobile. No, it won't do. Instead, your mobile phone, if it wants only 2 amps, it will pull only 2 amps. Okay, even though you are using 5 volt and 3 amps charger, okay, your mobile phone, what it wants, it is gonna get only what it wants. Okay, I hope I've cleared 2 doubts you might have. If you have any doubt on this video, you just raise it in the comment section. We'll see you in the next video.